And after that, bishop to g5 by Frederick, pinning the knight on f6, and this complete setup is known as Queen's Gambit declined, exchange variation, positional variation. And after that, bishop to e7, breaking the pin, and you can see now he is preparing to castle. e3, c6, opening the diagonal for the queen, bishop to d3, knight at b goes to d7, and after that knight to f3. And you can see till now both players develop naturally, and you can see both sides are getting ready to castle. But guys, here black goes for a weird move, knight to f8, undeveloping the knight, and the main idea is to reroute it to g6, bishop to h4 by Frederick. He might be annoyed by the threat of h6, which is going to kick this bishop back. So that's why he already retreats it to h4, knight to g6, and he basically attacks the bishop, bishop to g3, knight to h5 by Joe, attacking the bishop again. So a3, bishop to h6, and basically he wants to swing his queen to e7, but okay, so now queen to c2 by Frederick, eyeing the h7 pawn, so that's why g6. And finally he decides to castle queenside, which indicates that he is now ready to launch an attack on the king side. Okay, so after that, knight to g7 by Joe. He wants to reroute this knight on e6 so that he can eye on the f4 and d4 square. So to stop this, knight to d4 by Frederick. Here, bishop to d7, Joe develops his bishop, king to b1, getting away from any threat, knight to e6, and now Frederick goes for f4, preparing to push f5 to rip open the king side. So to stop this, Joe develops his queen on c7, eyeing the e5 pawn. The idea is, if let's suppose white now pushed f5, trying to attack this knight, g takes f5, bishop takes f5, and after that queen takes e5, and the position will remain equal. And I know some of you might be thinking of bishop takes h7, but queen takes e3, and if white goes for any move like knight to f5, queen to c5, and at the end you can see black gets this open h file for the rook. So that's why after seeing this all, after queen to c7, yep, so here Frederick goes for king to a2, getting the king safe on a2 square, and after that knight to c5, attacking the bishop, but rook to c1. Maybe he's planning something very big, which you are going to witness later. And now here black can exchange this active bishop, but instead Joe goes for a5. He launches an attack on the queen side, and Frederick mirrors with h4. And by seeing by seeing the move h4, basically Joe decides to castle queenside. And guys, this is the point from where the game becomes interesting, because in this position Frederick decides to sacrifice his knight with knight takes d5. And the idea behind this move is basically he wants to open the c file where his queen and rook are placed perfectly. Okay, so now basically Joe takes on d5, and now comes b4. He exploits the pin on the c file, and you can see that c5 knight is now completely paralyzed. A takes b4, A takes b4, and now I was hoping that black will slide his king to b8, but instead Joe pushed b6, an interesting move which indicates that he wants to cover again the c file. I mean, after Frederick's takes on c5, queen to a7 check, king to b2, b takes c5, and guys, just take a look at this position. The tension on this c pawn is now immense. Every piece is eyeing it, and also both kings are in massive danger. Okay, so now Frederick attacks this queen with the rook to a1, but queen to b6 check, king to c1. And now black can advance the c pawn, but so basically black can advance the c pawn, but Joe decides to play king to c7, opening the route for the rook. And now he is preparing for rook to d8 so that he can exchange the rook and reduce some pressure. King to a2, and finally c4, attacking the bishop. Rook at h goes to b1. Frederick first of all attacks the queen, but bishop to h4 check. He defends and develops his bishop with a tempo. King to e2. And guys, now from this point you are going to witness one of the best attacking and defensive game of all time. Okay, so now Joe brings his queen to c5, unpinning the king, and now he is ready to capture the bishop on d3. And you know what Frederick plays in this position? In this position, he finds the best move, king to f2, completely giving up his bishop, which is obviously trapped previously. Yeah, so basically, but let's suppose if black decides to capture this bishop with c takes d3, that will be a huge blunder by black, because now white is going to give a check from a7 square with rook to a7 check, taking benefit of the pinned pawn. And now let me know in the comment that why king to b6 and king to b8 is not possible. Okay, so for now king to c8 is the only best move, but queen to a2, threatening mate. So to stop this, if black goes for, let's suppose, bishop to b5, so that he can create some escaping square, but this is of no use because of knight takes b5. Yeah, so basically knight takes b5, queen takes b5, rook to c1 check, king to b8, rook to a8 check, king to b7, and finally queen to a7. And guys, that's a mate. So that's why after king to f2, let me go back. Here Joe goes for rook to b8, asking for rook exchange, and finally Frederick defends his bishop back on e2. Rook takes a1, rook takes a1, rook to b8, preparing for bishop to a3 so that he can play rook to b2, attacking the queen. Bishop to f3. And guys, believe me, this is one of the best futuristic move that I have ever seen in my life. You are going to see the purpose of this move, bishop to f3, later in this game. Okay, so for now, bishop to a5, opening the b file for the rook, as well as you can see now black is threatening to push c3. Okay, so now c3, and you can see rook to b2 is coming. So to tackle this, here Frederick finds the best move. Can you guess the move? Just pause the video and try to find it by yourself. And guys, the move is rook to c1. And now rook to b2 is not going to work because of queen takes b2. And if c takes b2, then rook takes c5. Check, king to d8. And guys, I know most of you got panicked because there is no way left for white to stop this b pawn from promotion. I mean, this b5 square is already covered by the bishop, as well as the c1 square is already covered by the pawn itself. But guys, no need to worry, because after rook takes a5 and even black promotes to a queen, this game will remain still equal, because after bishop takes d5, you can see white has two pieces and a rook for the queen and the bishop, which clearly makes this position equal for both. So that's why after rook to c1, here Joe goes for queen to a3. He first of all unpins the queen, and now he is preparing for rook to b2. Okay, so now bishop to a4 by Joe. He attacks the queen. And guys, now let me know in the comments that, yeah, so basically let me go back. Some of you might be thinking why this is not possible. So guys, basically now it's your responsibility to let me know in the comment that why this move is not possible. Okay, so for now, so where we are, so bishop to a4, attacking the queen to f5, and guys, what a move, guys. Here Frederick gives up his rook and Joe grabs the rook on c1 with queen takes c1, but queen takes f7 check. Frederick gives a check, bishop to d7, and basically now the move e6 might be the best move by which white can grab this bishop, but Joe has something even better. I mean, he gives a check from e6 square by knight to e6, and after that king to c6, knight to d4 check, king to c7, and finally e6, attacking the pinned bishop. Here basically Joe goes for to d8, but Frederick takes on d7, c2, and now you can see both sides are close to promotion. And now let's see who is going to promote first. Okay, so for now, king to g3, queen to e1 check, Joe gives a check from e1 square, king to g4, and guys, here surprisingly Joe promotes to a queen first. But before that, he gives a check from by the move h5, and after king to g5, finally c1 equal to queen, which indicates that now white is losing. But guys, as I said, this is one of the best attacking and defensive game of all time. So the way Joe and Frederick defend this game will absolutely blow your mind. I mean, just forget Magnus, Kasparov and Tal, everyone, and just take a look at this game carefully. First of all, Frederick's capture on d5 with queen takes d5, and as you can see, now he is threatening mate in 2 with knight to e6 check, followed by queen to e7, a b7 mate. And if you are watching this video carefully, previously I told you that the move bishop to f3 is one of the best move played in this game, because now this bishop and the queen are ready to destroy the black king. So but before that, Joe gives a check from g3 square, taking benefit of the queen, king to h6, and guys, now here we are. This is the most interesting part of this game. You can also take it as a puzzle. And basically, in this position, there is only one move left which can save this game for black. I mean, despite being a queen up, this is still losing for black, because let's suppose if black tries to play defensively with the move, let's say queen to b2, so that he can cover this square so that this white queen can't give a check. But guys, this is still losing because of, first of all, knight to e6 check, and obviously king to b8 is not possible due to the threat of queen to a8 mate. And if king to b6, then queen to b7 will be a mate. So due to these reasons, one thing is clear, that queen to b2 is not possible. But guys, after king to h6, Frederick finds that move, and guys, the idea is to sacrifice the queen with queen takes f4 check. And guys, this move literally shocked me from inside, because now white is forced to capture this queen, because if he decides to go back with, let's suppose, king to h7, now comes rook takes d7 check, and in the next move white has to lose his queen. So that's why after queen takes f4, so basically after this move, Joe captures the queen with e takes f4. But now comes queen takes f4 check, king to h7, and can you guess the next move played by Joe? Just pause the video and try to find it by yourself. And guys, in this position, he sacrificed the rook by rook to h8 check, forcing the king to basically getting on this 8th rank, so that he can give some multiple checks after king to g8, queen takes g6 check. And you can see now black forces a perpetual check, and in this position leads to a draw. And guys, what a game, guys. I mean, just imagine the level of attack and the defense in this game. Absolutely brilliant. Like this video, and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.